Okay, here we go. So we're doing quinoa tacos. So girls, do you have fresh quinoa? Yes?
Yes.
Or are you doing the frozen?
I have the fresh.
Fresh. Okay.
Fresh.
So is yours a single serving or do you have like a pouch like I do?
I have a pouch.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So depending, I'm just gonna do the half a cup of quinoa and a cup of water. But you could make more and then use half of your quinoa. Whoops, half of your quinoa for like a quinoa salad too. So if you want to make double the amount, you can kind of before we season it for the quinoa tacos, you can take that, set that aside and use it for a quinoa salad, which I can explain how to do, which is super easy. So, instead of half a cup of quinoa, you could do a full cup or even more. But I think I'm going to stick with my half a cup. Okay. But if you want to do the full cup, let me know and I'll explain I'll explain anyways at the end how to make a quinoa salad because it's super easy, super, super healthy. Okay. So here we go. We are measuring. What did I just do with those? Where are my? Oh, they're there. Okay, so I can't find my half a cup, so I'm going to do my math and do 2/4 cups. Yay! Alrighty. And then you fill it up with your water. We put it on the stove. And I kind of like to take a spoon or a fork and just kind of get it all, because if you see it, some lands at the bottom and some rises. So I just like to just wiggle it around there and get it all covered in water. And then, yeah, I don't. You're supposed to, but I don't.
Okay.
So, yeah, I need to get a smaller. The reason I don't, I feel like my strainer, they would all fall through. I keep forgetting to buy myself because see how tiny the quinoa is? Like you need a really fine strainer to do that. But yes, you should. So if you do have that fine strainer, do that. What I do is after I cook it, it kind of, the quinoa pops open and that's when I strain mine. Okay, so you should have it on high heat, girls. We are going to, and this is simply, cooking quinoa is basically just reading off the package. You're bringing that freshwater quinoa. You can put salt in it. I don't. I wait till it's ready to go. But then once we see it boiling, it's just like rice. You put the cover on and you cover it on low for about 15 minutes. Okay. So in the meantime, are you guys all using black beans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have our black beans. We're gonna open those. We're gonna strain those. We also have. Are you guys using tomatoes? I like to use little grape or cherry tomatoes, just because it's easy. And then if it's just me eating the taco for lunch, I can just slice a few up as opposed to a big giant tomato. So I usually have these on hand. And then you can either choose to do romaine, chop it up really fine, or spinach. If you want to do it in a wrap. If you want to have your quinoa taco as a taco salad, then I would recommend you use either whatever green you want, romaine, spinach, any mix of greens, and then you're going to mix in the quinoa with it. But if you're going to use it as an actual taco where you're wrapping it up, we'll cut it up nice and fine. Okay. All right. So let's get going. I'm going to start with my beans. My beans. And oh my gosh. I'm back. I try to organize my pots drawer, but it never seems to stay organized. And then pots just fall out.
I do the same thing.
Oh my gosh. So how are you guys eating the cabbage soup? Do you feel any kind of gassy bloatedness from that?
Not not too bad. It's
Good.
very good though. It really is.
I know, right? And it's so good for you, and it's like such an awesome feeling to be like, oh my God, I made this. It's so good.
I love the fact that there's so much that I've been able to use it for quick snacks when I just can't take it. Because normally I end up eating like crackers and chips and stuff like that, but instead I grabbed some of the salad. Some of the soup when I was home.
That's awesome. Yeah, especially like if it's just you or one other person in your house eating it, it will last a long time. So
Yeah,
you're rinsing off. What's that?
It definitely made a lot, and in fact, I gave some to my dad. He's trying to also eat healthy, and he said it was very good.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. Okay, girls. So I have my strainer here with my beans. So you can decide. I'm gonna put the beans after. Oh, you know what? My quinoa is boiling. Is yours?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta low heat it, and find a lid and cover that puppy. We'll look at the time. About 15 minutes. We'll check on it at about 12. 20 after. Okay. So that's cooking. The beans, you can either at the end after we rinse off our quinoa, we put it back in. You can either choose to create like a little taco bar of sides. Like you could have your black beans rinsed in a bowl. We're going to chop up your lettuce. So let's say you're doing it for a party or for just your family taco night. You could have like a little taco bar where you have beans in one bowl, you have your lettuce in another, you have your cut up tomatoes. We can also cut up onions. And then the other thing you could do is, I don't know how you guys feel about corn, but you could either do frozen corn, heat it up, or do canned corn, rinse it out. And you could also have corn in a bowl to also add for your taco bar. Today, I'm actually going to put my beans right in the quinoa. So I'm just going to set those aside. And I'm going to chop up a few tomatoes. And I am going to eat my food tonight, but mostly everyone in my family already ate. So I'm not going to chop up too many tomatoes. And then we'll chop up some lettuce. And typically my family likes the romaine in their tacos, but I prefer spinach. So I'm going to eat my spinach out then. Okay. So, and girls, the taco bar is a great, like I said, for parties. It's kind of fun because even if you have meat eaters, you can do like a crock pot of the quinoa and the black beans, and then you can also do a crock pot of, whatever ground beef you want to do, or ground meat. So it's pleasing for everybody. And girls, if you feel like you're missing the meat, my family, my husband's a meat eater, so I usually, if I'm doing this for dinner for everybody, I have like the pan of ground beef, and then I have the quinoa and tacos. So, and sometimes it's not quinoa. Sometimes I do rice. So the quinoa tacos, if you don't have quinoa on hand and you really want it, you can also just do rice. Okay, so you can do rice and bean tacos. Really, any grain and beans will work.
But like a brown rice?
Brown.
I would suggest, or?
Yep, and for time's sake, these are what I use. I'll show you. Hang on. So, like I said, I'm not perfect. I do my best, and I don't plan a lot, and right now I feel like everybody's here, there, and everywhere. So if I don't have time to do the quinoa, or I just want to make something really, really super duper duper fast, I'll use the frozen quinoa. I'm pretty sure you can get frozen rice, but they also have these seeds of change, and you can get store brand ones. The only issue with these is they do have oil. Almost everything processed, you're going to buy everything that is already prepackaged or pre-made is going to have oil. So that's just, it's one of those things, like you trade convenience for oil. Okay. But like this, it's already pre-cooked. You literally can either just put it in the pan and warm it up. You can put it in the microwave. You literally open up your beans, dump it all in. I'll show you 2 different ways you can season it, and it's made within minutes. It's like super healthy fast food for you. Okay, so that's an idea too. But yeah, any brown rice, Yeah, like here I have like Uncle Ben's whole grain rice right here that I sometimes use. Yeah. Okay. So, what are you guys chopping up?
I'm chopping spinach.
Okay, good. And for tacos, like even though I'm cutting like my grape tomatoes, I actually cut them pretty teeny. So I cut my grape tomatoes in like 6 pieces actually, because I like them little.
Me too.
Yeah. And girls, there's really no rules with what veggies you want to put in. Like if you love peppers, you can put peppers. If you like jalapenos, you can put jalapenos in it. You know, whatever you want. So, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll set those aside. I'm gonna get my spinach out. And girls too, all of these things that we're putting on the side to make our taco, you can actually, if you wanted to, you could put everything in, like if you have a big pan like this, let's say you cook your quinoa, you can throw your quinoa in here, you can throw your beans in here, you can throw your tomatoes in here, you can throw your spinach in here, your corn, your salsa, or whatever seasonings, and mix it all up, and you kind of get more of like a taco stir fry. Does that make sense too?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll do that.
That's nice.
And that's really yummy. And then if you look at I know I'm talking a lot tonight. There's not as much prep work to do. But if you look at the sweet potato bowl recipe, you can create like a little Mexican taco mix. Pretty much everything except the quinoa. So your beans, your rice, your tomatoes. And you don't always have to use fresh tomatoes. You can use just like a diced tomato too, if you're doing them hot. So in that fry pan, okay, you could put your corn, your beans, and kind of and spinach, mix that up so you have like that little Mexican mix. And you can season it either with salsa or taco seasonings. And then you make a sweet potato and you put it over the sweet potato and you kind of have like a Mexican sweet potato bowl. Okay, so that's another idea.
Sounds good.
All right. How's your quinoa looking? So it's kind of like rice. You don't want to like mix it. Just keep that cover on.
I'm doing the full cup, so I think mine's going to take a little longer.
You're doing the what?
I'm doing a full cup.
Oh, okay.
It looks good. It feels like it should have more water in it, though. But I mean, I did.
Yeah, no, it's not that much water.
It's soupy like rice.
Yeah, it So who's never cooked it?
I've done it one other time, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then have you guys eaten it before?
I've had it a bunch. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's starting to get more mainstream. Like even Panera has a Baja bowl, which I think is quinoa in it. So yeah, and there's quinoa burgers. So a lot of it's much more popular than it was like 10 years ago. So, and like I said too, if you're looking for convenience, it's a little more expensive, but those packs that Wegmans has, it's literally like you took your quinoa and you froze it. But you could do that on your own too. Like if you want to just meal prep for yourself, make a bunch of quinoa, put it in the freezer.
Well, that's why I'm making extra, because I'm
Yeah.
hoping to have. I really like having that soup around.
So for quinoa salad, while we're kind of hanging 10 here, so for a quinoa salad, think of it like as a cold salad. So basically, you would make your quinoa just like you are now, and instead of eating it, as a taco, you're gonna put it in a bowl. You're gonna strain it, and when you do it for a cold salad, I usually will use cold water, set it under there, try to really get it to cool off, and then set it aside. And then it's literally whatever veggie you like. you chop it up and you throw it in a big bowl. And I use like one of those big bowls. And this is great for parties as well. Like if you're going to a party, girls, and you know you don't want to like eat a lot of the party food, because most people when they have a party aren't making really healthy food. So that's one way to go to a party and not feel like, oh, what am I going to eat, when it's you that's bringing the healthy dish. And if it's something you like, then it's a win-win, and then other people also get to eat healthy. So quinoa salad's awesome. You can look it up, but basically it's very simple. Like I said, you make the quinoa, you put it in the bowl, and then you start chopping. So I do red onions, I do spinach, you could also do kale, you do tomatoes, you could do, I like, in that kind of a salad, I like my stuff cut up tiny. So you could do, chop up your broccoli really fine. You can, cucumber. I do cucumber in it. I like to do chickpeas or garbanzo beans. And then once you get it all in there, it starts to like hang out and play together. And then what you're going to do is you mix it all up. And then primarily, looks like I need some more. You want to use, I like red wine vinegar. Okay, so it's almost all gone. So I use mostly red wine vinegar. And if I'm going to a party, I'll usually put a little bit of olive oil in as well. But if I'm just making it for me, I try not to use the oil, because you have to start thinking of oil as a junk food, because it's literally just all fat. There's nothing nutritional about it. Okay. So yes, it does make food taste better. So knowing that, just a tiny bit, if you want to put it in your quinoa salad, or, you can also buy an olive oil in a spray. Okay. So if you're doing something like, roasting veggies, you can spray the veggies instead of pouring it, because just think of all the extra you get just from a quick drizzle as opposed to a spray. Okay. So again, quinoa salad, red wine vinegar, and a little bit of oil if you need it. And then I just simply use salt and pepper. But again, there's a ton of different recipes out there. You just Google quinoa salad. Okay.
Use that has lime juice in it. That's really good.
What's that?
We have a quinoa salad recipe we make, and it has lime juice in it. Like in the dressing, it's really good. But the Mexican.
Yes. Lime juice is great for Mexican dishes too. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like no rules once you start getting used to all these foods. Like that chickpea salad, Kate, that you made. You could even take like a few spoonfuls of the quinoa, mix it in there.
I was actually thinking of that. I was like, ooh, and more stuff.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool, is there's really no rules. No rules. Let's see. It's not there yet. Okay. So let me get. Okay. So. Okay. So let's talk salsa. Okay, so you can do taco seasonings. You can buy them in the pouches that are already, like, the taco seasoning pouches. Read the labels though, because sometimes those pouches have weird things in them. So make sure you read what's in the taco seasoning. Same thing with your salsa. So when I'm cooking like my rice and bean mixture or my quinoa beans, I typically will use the salsa verde. So in this one, it's tomatillos, roasted jalapeno peppers, roasted tomato puree, water, and then onion, salt, lime juice, vinegar, cilantro, garlic, spice. So there's nothing bad in this salsa. And this one actually is from Aldi. Aldi has some decent products. Okay, I know it seems like bizarre, but they do. So this one's good. Wegmans makes a good green verde. Oh, I forget. But Wegmans also carries another brand. So that's your green verde. Okay. There's another salsa that I'm probably have an addiction to, and it's Jack's. But there's a reason that I have an addiction to it, is because they put sugar in it. So it's interesting to start reading the products that you really like can't stop eating, or that's like, oh my god, it's so good. But Jack salsa, on the upside, Jack salsa is fresh. Like in Wegmans, you get it in the section where the hummus is. In Giant, it's in the produce section. So again, you kind of just have to weigh out your decisions. So those are two that I have right now. And again, most of the time, if you're going to be doing your own taco seasoning, you can make your own too. You don't have to buy the pouches, girls. You can just Google taco seasonings, and it'll give you like the breakdown of teaspoons of how much cumin, how much chili pepper, how much garlic, how much oregano, and it gives you that whole breakdown. So if you don't want to buy the pouch, you already have your spices, just look it up, find the recipes. I do that sometimes, but most of the time I just start shaking. I shake until it tastes like how I want to. Okay? Okay. Our quinoa should be looking like it should look like most of the water is kind of evaporated or like sucked into the quinoa. Does it look like that?
Mine's getting close, but I think mine's just going to take a little bit longer because I'm cooking twice the amount.
Yes. Okay.
It looks fluffy. I guess that's a good sign.
Yes, fluffy is good. Fluffy is good. All right, let me put. And did you guys get? So, like I said, the color doesn't matter. I don't know. I like red better. I don't know why, but I do.
I picked red because it reminds me of ground beef.
Yeah.
That's
True,
a good
that
idea.
might be why. So I'm rinsing mine off. Rinse. And if you want to have it warm, I would rinse it with warm water. Again, if I'm making it for a quinoa salad, I would rinse with cold water. And then you can put it back. You can put it back in your pot. Oh, did you girls cut up onion? I forgot to get my onion out.
I did.
I cut up some onions.
Okay, so like I said, so here's my quinoa. It's back in the pot. Yay! Do you have to add the beans right now? No, you don't. I'm going to though. Okay, so I'm dumping my beans in there, and I'm gonna mix it on up. And I am going to. So, girls, if you're doing taco seasoning, you do want to add a little bit of water, just like if you would make, meat tacos, you add a little bit of water with the spices, yeah? If you're doing the salsa, I kind of play it by ear, so I'm gonna, and again, I don't know how much I dump in. I just dump a decent amount in that looks like it's the right amount. If you're not sure, kind of play with it. And then if it looks like you want a little bit more juiciness to it, just add a splash of water at a time to see if you want it a little bit more. So then I just start mixing that salsa verde in it. If it doesn't seem like it's warm anymore, I can put it on low heat and just keep it warm. I can also, and that'll heat up the beans as well. But, so that's my taco mix, my quinoa tacos. Okay. So I'm gonna put my heat back on because my salsa was in the fridge, which means it made everything taste cold now. So I'm just gonna warm it a little bit. So like if you do this for a party, you can have a crock pot and it stays nice and warm. And it's not super healthy, but kids like it. You could do the bags of Doritos and they can do a walking taco.
Oh my gosh, you kids love that.
I know. We've done it. We've done it for a few parties, and it's always a hit. Like I said, it's not super healthy, but you know, it's a party.
Talking tacos, kids are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I'll be honest, so am I. So.
I know.
Usually when there's like Doritos, you're like, all right.
Okay, so let's talk about tortillas. Tortillas. All right. So you have your flour tortillas, and you know I have not found like an amazingly healthy flour tortilla. You know they all have oil in it, and you know this one's probably is not good either. Well, I know it's not great, but it's the one that we typically buy. If you don't want flour, you can do corn. So these are corn tortillas. Oops. Hold on. I don't want to touch the sizzle. So corn tortillas are usually easier to find with less crap in them. The best ones that I've ever found have been at Whole Food, but I don't make it over that way very often. So, and honestly, my honest opinion is I do prefer the flour tortillas, but when I'm trying to be super healthy, I'll have the corn. So it's really up to you. If you want to be a little bit healthier, go the corn tortilla way. Really check the labels. Also, you can use tortillas like this to make your own chips. So I have an addiction with nacho chips. And when I'm trying to be super healthy and I have the time, you can take a pizza cutter and just slice up your tortilla into little triangles, and you put them in the oven. And you don't even need to put oil in them. They will get hard, and then you can use those instead of chips that are smothered in oil in a bag. Okay?
That sounds good.
Right. Let me get my onion. Okay. I'm going to cut my onion. Whoops. And then I'm going to build my taco. Okay, so again, girls, you could, if you don't like the raw onion, you could also cook that up and put it in with the quinoa mix too, but I like raw onion. How's your quinoa looking, girls? And what are you guys doing, salsa or taco seasons?
Taco season.
Okay.
I did taco season.
What kind of salsa? Regular salsa?
I did the verde.
Oh, good. Cool. Yeah. Some different. And you can experiment. Like, do it the one way this time, then try it a different way. You might find that you like them both the same. You might find, like, you like one differently. Okay. So, I'm ready to build my taco. So, I like to throw my tortilla in the microwave for a second. I just think it helps get it a little softer. Okay. And then, okay. So again, there's no right or wrong. I typically will do, the lettuce or greens on the bottom, and then I put my quinoa on top, and then I do my onions and tomatoes. And then if you want to have avocado, you can also do avocado. Or any other toppings you want.
Thank you. Yeah, I did some avocados. Love avocados.
Yes. And girls, if you do a half of avocado and you don't use the other half, you can, what I do is I just let it sit out. And then it kind of gets that nasty black cover on it. But then you just take a knife and you just sliver off that top nasty part, and it's completely fresh under it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, so I don't even have to try to do the
No, I just literally leave it on my counter, like put it back, put it in the back of my counter, and then I have it for the next day, and I just like try to get it as close as I can, and it's fresh underneath.
You don't refrigerate it?
I don't, because I usually eat it within the next day. Probably if I wasn't eating it the next day, I would. So the thing with avocados too, girls, is if you are looking to drop weight, then you do want to be careful with your avocado intake. But like I love avocado, so I don't really track it too much. But because it's a healthy fat, okay, and it's from the source. But again, if you're trying to drop weight, go a little bit easier on the avocados until you get to your goal weight, or where you feel like you're really feeling your best. So girls, basically this is my yummy. Oh, it's really hard to show you like this, but there it is. That's my quinoa taco. So I could add more salsa to the top. I could, I can do anything I want to. It's my taco. So yeah. So hopefully you see how quick and easy. So boom, look at that. We started at 6. It's 6:30. Another meal completely made in a half hour. So, and it's all healthy. It's really healthy for you. So what was I gonna say? Forget.
It's very exciting. I feel like this is like the fastest I've ever cooked thing.
Right? I know.
I tend to over take my time chopping and stuff. I feel like when we're moving along, it's kind of nice.
Yes. And you know what, girls? Like, we all have our smartphones. Like, it's a great time to like find a podcast that has really healthy message, to find like a YouTube channel, to find something, because if you don't have this banter, it's kind of like, it's kind of boring. But if you're like, you know what, it gives you an incentive too, to like take the time to make your meal, and you can also you're going to fuel your body with good food. You can also fuel your mind with a nice podcast as well, or YouTube or something.
So no news.
No news. Yeah. So, and I will throw in this next my next weekly email, I will put in a few different people that I have found to be inspirational and just good, frame of mind kind of people. And then, so next week, I'm definitely going to do cacao balls with you. But does anybody else have a request for a type of food we do?
That was going to be mine.
Cacao balls are so good.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll just surprise you with something else.
Okay.
Yeah. And so before I say goodbye, tomorrow we have strength again. So we're going to call the workout we did on Monday Strength 1. Okay. We're going to do Strength 1 again tomorrow. I just filmed it today. So, Kate, what I said to the girls Wednesday is I don't think I'm going to record live. What I'm doing is I'm going to pre-record the workouts. That way, when you miss them, you have the workout with me actually doing them, because when I'm live with you girls doing the workout, I don't actually want to take the time. It's not the workout for me. It's a workout for you. So I want to make sure that it's as if I'm in the same room as you, and I want to make sure that I'm helping you with your form. So if like, like Kate wanted to pick up on that class that we did Wednesday, and I'm like, keep going to the screen saying, okay, you're doing good. Like, it's not going to be a great workout for her. So I'm trying to, like I said, it's kind of like an evolving program. So I think this will work out nicely for everyone. And then by the end of the 3 months, you'll have like a nice little library of workouts as well. Okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is nice.
Okay, so tomorrow will be Strength 1 again, and then we'll move on to Strength 2 and Strength 3, and we're just going to keep repeating those workouts, and then the Endurance 1, 2, and 3, and Cardio 1, 2, and 3. Yay!
Okay. So, are you planning on recording all of them then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And-
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
having meetings with myself as to how long I want to repeat a workout. So I will get back in touch with you about that.
Okay.
But girls, reach out to me, and please, if you have any questions or you need to reach out to me, text is always faster than email. So do that too. And yeah. Good job. Are you guys getting your water in?
Thank you.
Yes. I thought I was drinking enough water, and then I did the measurement. I was not.
Yeah, I agree. I still have room for.
Oh, I know. I'm always a work in progress with more water. Did you guys all fill out all of your baselines, all 4 sheets?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So enjoy your quinoa tacos. And Kate, I would separate yours in half. Unless you want to do a full batch of quinoa tacos, you absolutely could. So
I already separated it. I took.
So
half
what you
of
can
it.
do is you don't have to take the time to do your salad tonight. You could just put that plain quinoa in a container and save it for tomorrow, and then you could do the chopping of your other veggies tomorrow. But if you have the time, you can do it tonight.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, girls.
Thank
This
you.
is fun. Have a great night.
You too.
You
Okay.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.